But I guess right now, I mean, with the Giants wondering what's next and the Cowboys now entering the brave new world of finding a new head coach, Commanders fans are out of their skulls that they're not in that morass anymore. And then there's the Eagles fans who are feeling it because they're the 2 seed and they've had a terrific regular season and they are using the Giants' best player in years to great effect. Jalen Hurts comes back from his concussion protocol sabbatical, 21 days off in between games. And the rustiness that we saw might cause a little bit of concern, but the defensive side of the football is just laying the wood, and it started against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday with a monster hit on kickoff. An absolute crushing blow to start the game as Keyshawn Nixon got smoked. By the way, it did look helmet to helmet, but with a runner, that's not called. You don't call that.
Right.
And it was one of 4 Packers giveaways. And they just kept – how many Packers – I think Daniel Jeremiah mentioned that during the game. How many Packers limped off holding an arm, holding a hand, holding a leg?
They beat the crap out of these guys.
The Eagles laid the wood. Talk about physical football. Poor Romeo Doubs, too. I mean, he hit his head on the turf with the Guardian cap. Had the Packers somehow pulled that thing out and off, I just had no idea how they would have been able to go into Detroit and win that football game. I mean, they just got beat up.
Yeah.
22-10 is the final. It could have been worse, but Saquon slid when he had nothing but turf in front of him.
He was so gone.
and that's one thing that's one thing I want. A couple things off of that play I want to point out. Number one is how much differently we'd be discussing it if Saquon took it to the house.
That was, what, a 70-yard touchdown
run? It
run?
would have been a 29-10. Saquon's doing Saquon things again. He's getting in the realm of what, like if he'd taken it to the house, he would have had as many rush yards as Derrick Henry,
I think he would have had 160 maybe.
Right around
like
there. And
yeah.
we would have been like, it's 29-10. Saquon just wrapped it up. Yeah. They won by 19. Instead, we're sitting here talking about, well, the passing game didn't do this. Passing game didn't do that. But Saquon did the smart thing. And he was asked after the game why he did it. This was his answer.
Wasn't tempting. Situational football. No mas. It's first down, you win the game. So get the first down, get down. Don't matter.
No mas. He also went on to say afterwards that, I could have pulled a hamstring running. One of the guys running, trying to block for me, could have pulled a hamstring run. What are you doing this for? No mas. He went Roberto Duran. Mm-hmm. It's enough. Man, I love this guy. Let's hear more from him. I just can't. What is he talking about right here? He's talking about, stats don't matter to him as long as they win, which, by the way, is exactly what this team exemplified by sitting him in Week 18 instead of going for Eric Dickerson's record. Hit it.
We got to be our biggest critic, and that's what we're going to be, and we're going to see where we can improve on. But at the end of the day, the opinions, that's for you guys. Only thing that really matters is how we win, whether we throw for 400 yards, we rush for 400 yards, or we win the game 3-0. I don't give a to be honest. I just want to win. And I think that's the mindset of the team. I know that's the mindset of the team, and we'll go back, we'll watch film, we'll improve, and get ready for whatever we got next.
I'm wondering if, did Saquon write the book that A.J. Brown was reading? Because it sounds very zen and he doesn't need much self-help. Because A.J. Brown, it's not an Eagles game unless we're talking about A.J. Brown and the passing game and whether he's happy or not. 1 catch, 10 yards, and I'm assuming 10 pages at least he read of this book. When they showed him on the sideline reading a book, and it was wild.
It was wild.
And I said to you, because I'm off X now, I said, crowd, so somebody must know what it is.
Yep.
Within 30 seconds, you texted it back, right?
Immediate.
It's a book called Inner Excellence by an author, Jim Murphy. Train your mind for extraordinary performance and the best possible life. It's a revised edition. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that
it's been updated, perhaps?
Well, or is it initially called outer excellence? Is it the... And A.J. Brown tweeted out later on showing the very worn copy. It's not like he just bought it and started reading it, so it backs up his play that he was saying that he reads it a lot.
So this isn't like a LeBron book.
He talks about it's a 90% mental, 10% physical game. I bring it to every game, and I read it between each drive. I use it to refocus and lock in despite what may transpire in the game, good or bad. People tend to create controversy when they don't know the truth.
That's true.
And so, it just so happened the Fox cameras caught him on, late window Fox for an NFC East home game in the playoffs is, from a team in the Northeast. That's a whopping number.
Oh, yeah.
For a rating. So they caught it. And so now the conversation afterwards, like, is A.J. Brown unhappy with the passing game again to the point where he is busting out a book? Remember we talked about with Jerry Seinfeld when he was here, how I talked with him about the GIF that we send everybody. That's a shame.
That's
where he's eating popcorn. And he pointed out, like, what I guess act can show off that you couldn't care what less? Is that the phrase? Right? That what's more of showing you that it doesn't faze you than eating popcorn, or I don't care what you think, then I'm eating popcorn. Well, right underneath that might be reading a book. Like if you're going on a take, right, and you're being impassioned about it, and I bust out a book.
Oh my gosh. I'd throw something at you.
You know what I mean? Like,
hey, I'm talking here.
I'm not paying attention. I don't care. I'm in my own world. I am, I'm not going to be part of anything. I'm out. See, right there. See, but he's reading his own book. Are you reading a book now, Mike?
Yeah.
What book is that?
It's
I don't even
all right, whatever.
Oh,
but that's the point. That's the point. I have only one catch for 10 yards.
I got Mike Florio's
I'm
book.
talking now. Stop reading. You mean that's Florio's book?
Florio's book,
what is
Father
Rich
Mine.
saying?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like he must not be happy because he's reading in between drives. So A.J. Brown had this to say afterwards.
That's a book that I bring every single game. And, my teammates call it a recipe. That's the first time I heard that y'all got me on camera. But that's not the first game. It got a lot of points in there. It's a lot of mental game, a lot of mental parts about it. And, what's for me, this game is mental. I physically believe I can do anything and everything, but, I got to make sure I'm mental good. So it's something like how I refresh every drive. Regardless of if I score a touchdown or I drop a pass, I always go back to that book every drive and just refocus and nothing matters, nothing happens, and just relog back in.
Were you frustrated when you were reading the book?
No, I was not frustrated at all. I figured that's what y'all probably thought. I wasn't frustrated. Why y'all always think I'd be frustrated? I read the book. Yeah, I like to read.
Yes. I wonder why people think he's frustrated. Because about a month ago, he was talking about a passing problem that turned out to be a passing problem. But, that'll be a conversation over the next few days. Is the passing game an issue? You know how you can get past the passing game being an issue? You find a tight end who stiff arms somebody right out of the club. The Dallas Goedert catch and run. I mean, the last Valentine in Philadelphia treated so poorly, I think, was
Billy Ray.
Billy Ray.
Wow.
Right? Did Goddard get $1 for this act on Valentine?
Billy Ray Valentine,
Right?
Capricorn.
He got the crop report. Good Lord.
That jacuzzi is a whirlpool bath.
You see what I'm saying? The Eagles put their cools out on the Packers carpet.
My Persian rug from Persia.
Right?
Put the cools out on my rug.
Jeez, that's one way to get through the passing problem.
Billy Ray, is that you?
Get out of my house.
A physical win for the Eagles. That's the way I come out of this. I know it was up and down, and it didn't look all that great. They didn't blow out the Packers.
Well,
Packers are a tough team to blow out, too.
Eagle
By the way,
defense is stout.
Packers this year lost 2 to the Eagles, 2 to the Lions, 2 to the Vikings, 1 every other game. So Packers aren't going to get just blown out. And they would have, I guess, technically been if Saquon didn't slide.
Technically. No, they still lost.
I knew you'd like the Valentine line, right?
You know how I feel about that movie. Randy Motte.
So bring on the winner of tonight's game to Philadelphia. And I'll say this, Saquon's still running on the Rams. And so I'd be concerned how that matchup takes place for the Los Angeles team that goes outdoors. I know Minnesota plays indoors as well. Tonight's game's going to be, I think it's going to be dynamite.
What's our prediction tonight, fellas?
I don't know, man. I just think that it's tough for the Rams to focus on something like this, and they're playing a home game on the road. I just feel like they're going to dig deep, brother. I don't know. I chose the Rams on game day morning.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like one of those things, the situation that we're in. Sometimes things happen to uplift the city.
No doubt.
That would definitely, a win tonight for the Rams would definitely do that for Los Angeles.
And the Rams they're coming in, healthy on pretty much all over.
These teams
Not
are
that the Vikings aren't,
pretty
but
even, man.
Oh, they know each other.
Really
they played
even.
each other earlier this year. I can't wait for it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.